You're watching 360 here on 31. Thanks for tuning in. Liam Renton's my name. We talk all things Brisbane, and we've got a great panel on the show for you this week. In fact, we'll reintroduce the panel if you've just joined us, and a pretty impressive guest about to make his debut on the show. Yep, there he is. We'll get to that in just a second. Dr. Ian Williams is on our desk this evening as well, a local GP. We're still going to talk about immunisation tonight, why you should get your little one immunised. Paul Kasos is from Ipswich Events. Massive festival on at the moment, and we're encouraging everyone to get out to the Switch this weekend.
Absolutely. Chris
Haig is a local stand-up who's just got back from a tour of Singapore, making gags over there.
Yeah.
Okay. And joining us from a band Lost Soul.
That's all I get? Do I get a yeah?
Pat Hayter is with us right now. Pat.
You know, Rove does have to put up with this, don't you?
We do want to find a bit more about your band, but welcome to the show. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having us on.
There's a million questions, which we are going to get to after we show you this. This is a Brisbane band now doing big things overseas. Check out a little on Lost Soul. Have a look.
How long have the three of you guys been playing music together?
Steve, we've been playing Lost Soul for the last 4 years in this current group of Motley Crue, with my brother from a different mother, Stanley, here to my immediate right, and Pat on the far right. So yeah, 4 years, and the Lost Soul, we've been having a great time. Just come back from touring overseas, touring Europe again, and went out there with a bang, mate, and had a great time. So it's been just a great journey, and looking to keep going.
That's great. So, have you always played original music, or have you guys played covers as well?
No, original music for me, and the hat speaking.
Yep.
It's probably only about the last 4 years. Before that, totally covers.
Yep.
Playing a lot of pubs, clubs around Australia. But I've sort of given all the covers away and just focusing now on originals. It's just a great satisfaction in playing your own music. It's really cool.
For me, and I'm speaking for myself, but talking to the guys, I'm pretty sure they feel the same thing. For us, the last concert we did in Berlin was, for myself, it was an epiphany at that moment. We come off stage, it was like 15 degrees below freezing and stuff, and we're standing outside and just swamped by people. We lost our car and everything else. It was crazy, but at that moment I thought, this is what we're meant to be doing, for until you die, I suppose, it's just what you do. And that feeling for me on that particular gig it hasn't been passed by anything we've done. So that's the thing for me, is to go back to Germany and maybe keep doing gigs like that one.
That's great.
Yeah, we had more people wanting to take pictures with the hat on them, rather than standing next to me with the hat on.
Fantastic show. I agree fully with Pat and the boys. It was a fantastic tour. We did 30 dates across Europe, and we finished off in Berlin week before Christmas. Snowing. It was just an amazing time, and really can't wait back to get to Germany again, see our fans, and do it all again. It was great. It's a real paradigm as well there, Steve, because whilst we love Australia, we love being at home, and it's great to play a stage here in your hometown, your home country, of course. But with music here, it's certainly a lot different with how European audiences do respond on it, like music and arts and culture and going out. It's really the scene overseas to go out and see bands and really support. And 7 nights a week there'd be any venues 300-400 people over there. It's just amazing. And whereas here it's certainly a little bit sort of different. But that's what it's about. We have great fans here. We love playing here, and we hope to see you at one of our next shows. So that's the plan. So please come along. And always, if you'd like to send the band a note, you can email us at locksoul2009@hotmail, and we will certainly put you in touch with the appropriate agencies.
Hello Zeke, how you going, mate? Keep your music up. See, you have to get your stuff down here as a rap singer. And hello Ellie, look at your daddy, sweetheart. I love you.
Hi Talia, you probably won't recognise me, but this is your father underneath this hat. And
Surely it is.
Surely it is. Here he is.
Hey.
Hey, he's got the hat off. Hi darling, I love you very much.
So hello to all my family and friends, and to the guys in H Block. I bet you wouldn't have thought you'd see me here now. Great times. Keep on living.
And we'd like to say hi to the guys from H Block too. We know they watch the show. G'day guys, we hope you're having a good night. So Pat's the front man, he's running the show out of Loxol. Why overseas? Why aren't you just doing Brisbane? What's wrong with Brisbane?
The thing with Brisbane is it's pretty much a town that supports, for the main part, covers. You know, we used, Chris and myself, the bass player, we were in one of those tribute bands, Who tribute band. You get more gigs doing that than what you will doing your own thing. So to play your own music, and you know, it's very, very tough here to get, you know, the radio stations or television stations or even the gigs themselves where you can play purely 100% original music. So we found originally when we started this thing, the plan was that we would try and, if we could get over to Europe, in fact Berlin was where we'd sort of just had this feeling about it, if we could do a gig there, if it would work out, how would it be, and so on. So a couple of years ago we put our toe in the water, just went over there. We had a little bit of feedback happening already because we had a record contract with a company here, Oracle Records, and when they went down, they sold a lot of their contracts out for the bands, and there was a band around town, you guys probably heard of Blowhard, and we were friends of theirs, they were on the same label, and they said to us, you know, your stuff's doing okay in Germany, so we started to make a little bit of a, you know, trip over there and see how it went. Didn't really know anybody or what to do. That opened up a whole lot of things for us, and then we went back for a second tour, which was completely different, and then now a third one later on this year.
I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping that my 2-year-old's actually in bed right now, because she'd be quite scared seeing the get-up. The obvious question is the makeup. What's going on?
Well, there's sort of, the main thing with that is when you go and see a band, any band at all, you know, it doesn't, like we were talking about this earlier, but you go and see a band, the worst thing that can happen, and for my mind anyway, is we live in an AV world. I mean, that's part of what we're doing here right now, and if you go there and you start playing your music and, you know, you just look like the guy who's sitting at the table beside you or whatever, for a start, you know, there's no mystery in that, there's no real great interest in that. We walk into a room, no matter where it is, so people go, well, no matter what they are, they've got to be something outside of the box of everybody else here. We go on stage, we play it, people come up to us and say, oh, I like that, especially with the original band thing, because when you're playing with all original, then the bands that are playing with you, as support bands or whatever, you know, the people that go to see these other bands are basically seeing bands in T-shirts and jeans, and there's no real effort into it. So if you come and see Loxol, after the gig, even if you don't remember the music, you'll remember that to some degree what you saw. You know?
But do you feel, honest, do you feel a little bit silly?
Feel ridiculous.
Good. He just peed himself, man. He just wet himself.
That really went backwards, didn't it?
I mean, I can see a number of different influences there. There's obviously a bit of Guns N' Roses about you,
Spider-Man.
a bit of Kiss about what you
Spider-Man.
do. But I actually reckon you look like Heath Ledger's Joker from Batman.
Oh, cool, I like that.
Yeah.
But, well,
Just need to like smear it up the side there a little bit more.
we'll try that later.
No,
Well,
Would-
I remember all of us have been influenced by different types of music and bands. Chris, the bass player, is absolute Kiss mad, and just about everything he could get him, and he's sort of met all the guys from Kiss. He has this relationship with each one of them, and when they come out to Australia.
So there's a lot of people here in Australia, yeah.
Yeah, so yes, and I remember like years ago, I met Alice Cooper for the first time, and I'd been a pretty big fan of his anyway, and when I actually got to talk to the guy, and I was saying that I'd been getting his records before he was with a major label. He was with Frank Zappa and was independent, and I was bringing his stuff in, and all of a sudden I was interested, and I said, well, look, just take some of my music back, and just will you have a listen? I've been listening to your stuff all my life, you know. And anyway, a couple of months ago, I was telling this story to somebody, and they said, oh, I saw Alice Cooper on Rove, actually, and they said, what's some of the strangest things you've ever had happen, throughout your career? And he said, well, the strangest thing I had in Brisbane was I met this guy once, and he's from this band, and blah, 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 and the story turned out, of course, it was
You're the man.
me and Alice Cooper. I think we're looking in the mirror.
Mate, tell us about your dress code. I mean, who dresses you? Do you have a stylist, or you just... Where do you get clothes from?
Well, this, the op shops. No, we have them made by this Malaysian lady. She's really good. We just draw up what you want, sort of thing, and then she takes it away. And
quite cheap as well to get it made.
oh no, well, only when we want to get them made in production, we have to get the Chinese babies out. It's terrible, but
How does it say about the state of local music? The fact that you've making a living overseas, but you can't make one in your own backyard. That's kind of sad, isn't it?
I think that's true of just about anything that you want to do. I mean, there's certain areas here that you could do that. Football is probably the main one, but it's geared mainly towards sport and stuff. You know, in this place, I think so, more so than the arts. As comedian, I see there's a few places with open mics, comedians and that, but you'd probably have the same thing with gigs as a...
They hated me in Singapore. I did better over here. They hated me. But like, I've never heard you guys, but I'm not raining on your parade, but you know, I just know that David Hasselhoff is like really big in Berlin. So is that what we're competing with?
David Hasselhoff?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's hard to compete with him because he was on SpongeBob SquarePants, and when you get to that level...
Was he really?
Yeah, man, you know, so... You know, it's pretty hard to knock that off.
What's the weirdest thing, I guess, someone said to you? I mean, because, you know, people can see you and possibly prejudge you. We've like getting to know you off camera and hear about your family and stuff, which we haven't talked about now, but people look at you funny in the street. What do they say? What do they do when you're in the
He doesn't wear this all the time.
Might be
This
going
isn't going down to Woolies gear. This is like going on stage. Woolies is probably, you know, no hat or something.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's the Woolies gear.
What's the strangest comment you ever had?
The strangest comment I've ever had. Well, I remember one time I was doing this gig, this is years ago, and we were doing this gig, and this person comes backstage to the dressing room and says, "You've forgotten your boots and your mother's brought them in." And there's these big silver sort of space boot things, and I thought, that really doesn't sound like my Irish mum, you know, Catholic Irish mum bringing me boots, you know. But it's my mother, you know. So I said, well, just let her in anyway, you know. Yeah, it's mum, sure, you know. And it was woman from the Queensland Theatre Company, who was running Lynn Phillips was running the Queensland Theatre Company at the time, and sort of come up and said, "Hi, I'm your mum, here's some boots." So that was pretty
easy way to get free tickets too. Guaranteed way of getting in the door. Mate, as we said, we haven't played any of your music on the telly, but if we want to find out more, learn more about you got a website. How do we find Loch Soul?
Well, the best way if you want to find Loch Soul is come to gigs, because the thing that keeps coming up over and over again with us when people see us is, we've bought your CDs, we've bought, you know, this or whatever, but your live shows are, you know, are different, of course, like any band, but there's the energy level on that. So for the next few weeks we're playing at Springwood Hotel, the Shark Bar, on a couple on Thursdays, and another big one coming up on a Saturday night there. So, and of course on our website, which Chris had on there before, you can, you know, see any dates, and there's a lot of music there you can download for free if you like that sort of thing or whatever. If you like it, it's yours. All right,
well, nice to meet you too, and supporting local music, and congratulations on your success overseas. It's exciting to hear. There's still more to come on 360. We're going to talk immunisations straight after the break. Don't go away.